What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be reacting to a video by Karka about why Fortnite lost its charm and why it just doesn't feel as special and exciting as it used to. I'm going to give my thoughts on the topic and kind of talk about what they thought, but let me know down in the comments below what you think of Fortnite losing its charm. I know a lot of my viewers started playing for Zero Build, and I feel like Zero Build players have a very different perspective on it because the game is still new to them. And I feel like a lot of what makes people feel like the game lost its charm or the game isn't exciting anymore or as exciting is because back in 2018 and 2019, we hadn't been playing Fortnite for 5 years straight, you know? In early 2018, late 2017, everything they did was new and exciting and novel. And it's just like, I feel like the fact of life that the longer you're exposed to something, the less exciting and the less special it is. And I feel like that's a lot of what has happened to Fortnite, but people kind of judge it on that past like peak of excitement, and it's just a really unfair comparison. But there is ways that the game has fallen off, I think, to an extent, or like things they don't do as good as they once did, for sure. Also, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe. Karka's channel will be linked down in the description below. I think this video is really good, and they do seem to be a newer channel. I'm really excited to see what type of content they make going forward, because it seems like most of their channel is going to be like Fortnite history type content, or like kind of analysis of Fortnite's past, and I think that could be really, really good. Tilted Towers. Bro, this is when the slurp juice was trash. So we know the slurps is like the best healing item now. When it first came out, I think it gave 25 shield and 25 white health. And then they reworked it to just give 75 of whatever you were missing, like starting with white and then filling your blue as well. But at launch, the slurps were so bad.
Fortnite Battle Royale. A free-to-play Battle Royale video game you most likely have heard of, or maybe you have played before. Released in 2017 during the rise of PUBG, Epic Games had recently released Fortnite Save the World, which was not selling well since the game was PvE and Battle Royale was a genre that was selling well. So, in hopes to boost the sales of Save the World, Epic Games decided to take a chance and release their Battle Royale version of the game 2 months after Save the World was released. And it was successful, becoming one of the most popular games in the world in under 6 months. 6 years later, the game is still going strong. Right? You have read the title and come to your own conclusion, but I want to explore and really take a look back and answer the question, has Fortnite lost its charm?
I think yes, but like I said, I think most of that is just like, it would have been unreasonable for it to retain that over years and years and years. It's just the nature of how things work.
Hello everyone, you might have seen me before in your TikTok For You page or your YouTube short feed, but if this is your first time, welcome. If you like what I do, please do me a favor and subscribe. 98% of people that watch my videos are not subscribed. If you dig this type of content, let me know and I'll continue doing this. And don't worry, I'm not giving up on short form videos. Anyway, back to the main topic at hand. I'm going to do my best to look at this topic realistically. Nostalgia will not play a factor, but it will be mentioned throughout the video. Let's forget everything we know when it comes to stats, charts, player counts, or pop culture. When you hear the phrase, Prime Fortnite, what pops into your head?
For me, I would say Prime Fortnite is like, or peak Fortnite for me is probably Chapter 1 Season 2 to Chapter 1 Season 7. Like, not including Season 7, I was not a huge fan of that season, despite it having a lot of good additions, like looking back on it. I think that time, like 2018 Fortnite, was just unmatched. If I had to narrow it down even further, it'd probably be Season 3 and 4.
Is it this?
Bro, listen to the old storm sound. That just brought me back.
Or is it that?
So I guess the point here is that a lot of people are going to say the left side is prime Fortnite for them. This is like probably preseason because of the skin that character is using was one of like the OG defaults before they reworked them. And this is Chapter 2, Season 2. So a lot of people are going to say the left side because, you know, if you played on the Chapter 1 map or you played in the early days, obviously going to be the left. Whereas like Chapter 2 is when a lot of people already kind of thought the game fell off to an extent. I'm pretty sure this is Chapter 2, Season 2. It looks like the mid-map POI is named and that was the agency, I'm pretty sure, and there was Midas there. But yeah, like this goes back to my point. By Chapter 2, Season 2, if you had been playing since the game came out, you had been playing for 2 years already. Whereas this time period, nobody had been playing the game for like any longer than like a week or two, depending on when it was.
My guess is that the majority of you chose the first one. While this question is based on personal opinion, you probably picked it because of the sense of familiarity or a personal connection with the video. It could have been the cartoony looking characters, the basic graphics, or a specific POI that was connected to that chapter. But as time marched on, we have seen a huge change from Chapter 1 to Chapter 2 and so on. Everything that I said earlier has changed. The cartoony look that the characters had in Chapter 1 is gone. The game has become more graphically intensive, and the POIs today are mostly forgettable. If you had to tell me what the bowling alley POI was named in Chapter 4, I would have no clue. Why is everything—
Yo, Faulty, we're not going to tolerate that Faulty disrespect. Faulty was goated. That's like my favorite POI on the Chapter 4 map. I do agree with that to an extent though, and I really have no idea why that is. It's very hard to like point why something just doesn't hit the same or doesn't feel as special. But with the Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 maps, they really are not that like memorable or noteworthy to me. Like, I loved Jones's in Chapter 3. I landed there a lot. It was probably my favorite landing spot. But if they brought Jones's to the Chapter 4 map, like, I'd be excited, but I would be infinitely more excited if they brought back like Retail Row or Pleasant. And we had both of those POIs for the entirety of the Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 maps. Like, Retail and Pleasant were there for like literally like 4 years almost. So I don't know what it is, but like I do agree that these new POIs are not that memorable. Like when I look at the Chapter 4 map, I'm really not sure if there's going to be any POIs that I miss that I like want to return in the same way I kind of feel about the Chapter 1 maps or POIs. Like I'm literally wearing a Durburger shirt. Like if Greasy came back, I would be ecstatic. But like, I don't know, these newer POIs just don't hit the same. That's kind of why I asked at the start of the video, because I feel like with people who introduction to the game were Chapter 3 and Chapter 4, maybe they kind of do feel that way about some of these POIs.
Clue. Why has everything changed all of a sudden? You can blame all of that on the ever-evolving video game industry. Every year, people say that they want realistic graphics, immersive games, and constant updates. Something that Epic Games is doing. They have a model that they are selling, and that is Unreal Engine. Fortnite has more or less turned into a market strategy to show off Unreal Engine 5.1. When Chapter 4 was launched, they were so focused on showing the updated graphics and new features like Lumen, Nanite, and Virtual Shadow maps. In Unreal Engine's blog posts, they admitted that Chapter 4 was to show off Unreal Engine 5.1. Has Fortnite evolved so much that they moved away from who they are? They are a company that spent 2 months creating a Battle Royale experience because their previous target, Save the World, wasn't selling as they expected. Well, Epic Games has an engine to sell, and what better game to show off its engine than its most popular one?
So yeah, I don't know how game development works, but a lot of games use the Unreal Engine, and so doing crazy stuff in Fortnite and being able to advertise that that is what the Unreal Engine is capable of just makes sense. Like PUBG uses the Unreal Engine. That was the whole basis of like PUBG suing Epic, was they argued that they made, like PUBG made improvements to the Unreal Engine for BR that Epic then took and made their own BR. Like people just looked at that and were like, oh, PUBG is suing them for copying BR. But it was more in depth for that, but it just goes to show so many games use the Unreal Engine and how vastly different games can be. So it's not like every game that uses Unreal is going to look like Fortnite. It's just a thing. And so Epic probably does make a ridiculous amount of money from that.
What about updates? About a year ago, I started this YouTube channel to talk about what's new in Fortnite. So it consists of checking Twitter, and it's easy to see how the community reacts to these updates. It seems like now every update has been reviewed poorly by fans. But What if
It's been like that for a long time. Like even during Prime, like what I considered Prime Fortnite, people were every single thing that got added to the game, people freaked out about.
it's always been like that? Let's talk about Chapter 1 Season 4, since that's when I was playing the game more.
Even then, people were raging about everything they added to the game or nerfing the pumps. I think that was when they kind of started to tone back double pump, and then they eventually just removed it.
Every week there was something new or something unvaulted or vaulted.
Okay, the shopping cart was hyped for no reason. Like the shopping cart did have
Playing
no
the game
business
more.
being that hyped.
Every week there
People were freaking out for the shopping
was
cart
something
edition.
new.
And it was the most like like lame vehicle ever, but it was like the first one. The jetpack at the time people complained about being like used to take height. The bouncer. And again, actually we'll let him finish the point.
Or something unvaulted or vaulted. Back then, when you would look at Twitter and see the reactions, you would see that everyone says that the update sucks.
Okay, he was agreeing with me.
Now, look at Chapter 4 Season 3.
I was
We
confused.
still receive weekly updates. And we do get new weapons or items. Some unvaults and some vaults. But the community still says that the update sucks. Weekly updates have never stopped, so what changed? What has changed is our accustomed to these updates.
100%. Like, I used to wait up during the downtime with my friends to see what was going to change in the Fortnite update. Like, several of us. It was so exciting. But back to my point at the start of the video, we hadn't been playing Fortnite for many years at this point. And so, like, everything was exciting. And we weren't as accustomed to just like, oh yeah, unvaulted the big bush bomb, cool. Or like, added the grapple glove back, which was a great update. But it's not like exciting in the same way that Fortnite updates used to be, and I think a lot of that just comes down to us playing the game for like so many years. I do think there's updates still that can generate an insane amount of hype and publicity or like excitement within the community. The Most Wanted update in Chapter 4 Season 1 was an incredible update. Like, we've been playing the game for years. It doesn't matter. That update was incredible, and it changed the game a lot. That was like one of the first times in a while where like just waking up for a random Fortnite update was like insanely hyped like that. And I feel like that's also why they do a lot of collabs, which I'll talk about later. But I feel like collabs kind of generate hype in the same way. Like if we just get the like 50th AR to ever exist in the game, it's not as exciting as like Futurama coming to the game or Terminator coming to the game for a lot of people.
Something that we have never experienced is a game that there will be constant updates. Updates where the map and loot pool were constantly changing and the game will feel fresh. And now we're used to it. We have become more critical of updates because that's what we expect now.
100%.
We expect new weapons, we expect map changes, and we expect a lot from Epic, and when they can't deliver, we hate their game. If you remember a time before Fortnite, you would buy a game, experience the new weapons or mechanics, and wait for the next version of the game to come out. But now, we expect a lot from the video game industry. Fortnite has changed the way the gaming industry works. A base game with constant updates. Don't believe me? Let's look at Xbox's top free games and PlayStation's top free games. And you will see Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, and other free games that receive constant updates.
That's just how things work now. Personally, I really enjoy the live service model of gaming, but I'm also like I'm literally a content creator, so it's like, yeah, I'm biased.
Going back to the panels, you probably have chosen the first one because of nostalgia. Let's talk about nostalgia.
So this, this is like a weird topic because whenever anybody talks about anything in the Fortnite community or talks about enjoying a previous version of the game or something along those lines compared to the current version, people just blame it all on nostalgia, which is true to an extent, but I think that it's definitely not just good to throw away any valid criticism and act like whatever is currently available is undisputably the best and you can't discuss it because nostalgia. Like, I feel like nostalgia is overused to an extent. But it definitely plays a part in it, like I was saying. Like, the early days, we hadn't been playing for multiple years, and that is just a huge portion of everything.
WebMD refers to nostalgia as usually regarded as a sentimental yearning for the past that evokes feelings of pleasure with occasional notes of sadness. While looking at the clips of Chapter 1, you might have smiled looking at these clips and started thinking back to when you would have played this game with your friends. You might have stayed up all night playing matches with your friends. All the memories you have created.
Like, I think this map was incredible. There's so many incredible POIs on this map. You take Paradise Palms, put it on the Chapter 4 map, it'd be a good POI. Retail, Pleasant, Salty, greasy. Like those POIs are good. Risky Reels was like a popular POI in Chapter 3. It was basically a remake of or Rocky Reels was popular in Chapter 3. It's basically a remake of Risky Reels, which was up here. Like the POIs is what made this map so special, in my opinion. And those POIs, I don't think it's just nostalgia. They're just good places to play.
Intensive 1v4 games, the one more game you would say before going to bed. And now you're thinking that you don't play Fortnite with your friends as much as you used to. And you're sad because you can't go back in time and relive those moments. But let's rewind a bit. What if I told you that people that chose the second option would argue about the same thing? Nostalgia. While a release date can play a factor when you're talking about a game with an ever-evolving map like Fortnite, it doesn't really matter. You will always get nostalgic if you play a game during your childhood. The feeling you would get when it's a 1v1, your first ever win, we all experience the same thing, just at different times. Let me show you.
It's like we all have a like higher tolerance to Fortnite now, or like the bar for us to be entertained or have a good session just like raises over time.
Another example. Minecraft, a 3D classic sandbox game that was released in 2011. It doesn't matter if you played during the in-dev days or the full release days. We all played Minecraft at one point of our adolescence.
I didn't really play this game at all. I was playing like Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2 when this was out initially. I felt like the parents from South Park when it came to Minecraft. Like I just fundamentally didn't understand how to play a game with no objective or goal.
Load into your
boomer.
Your first ever game, the feeling of unknown, the infinite world, the first night when you would build a dirt house with a hole as a window, seeing mobs on the other side of that wall, the feeling of venturing to see what else you can find, a feeling that you cannot experience again even if you tried. You've learned all you needed to know about Minecraft, so if you try to create a new world today, you will never experience that feeling ever again.
So like, hold on, let's just like have the screen not be black.
To the people that chose the first option, when would you say that Fortnite died, in your opinion?
Never mind. This is the transition from Chapter 1 to Chapter 2. Which I agree is when a lot of people think kind of Fortnite lost its uniqueness, and one of my main reasons will kind of coincide with this.
Does this seem familiar? The Chapter 1 map that you grew up playing is now gone. The unknown of what's next for Fortnite. The ending of Chapter 1 felt like an ending to your childhood. When Chapter 2 was released...
So I was like an adult when Fortnite came out. I think I was like 20. I played COD for like my earlier childhood and younger teenage years, like COD 4 onward. I played every Call of Duty. I am not nearly as nostalgic about those games as I am OG Fortnite, despite those kind of being my childhood like multiplayer games. Like those are the games that got me like addicted to multiplayer shooters. Fortnite just had something really special that I can't really put my finger on it.
Probably played the game less and less until you visited once in a...
So like my personal... I don't know if this is a good point for this. So my personal opinion on why the game lost its charm is partially, like I said at the start of the video, we've all been playing the game for multiple years if we've been playing since it came out. And even if you started halfway through the game's life cycle, you've been playing for multiple years. And it's just impossible for the game to retain that level of hype and excitement for as long. It's like a tolerance. We build up a tolerance to it. I also think skill-based matchmaking and bots in particular, play a huge role in this. I think a lot of what made early Fortnite so unique was how not only were we all new to the game, but the player base was new to the game as well. And there's a lot of noobs, and like the way the skill in the game progressed over time was really exciting. Like it just felt like you were always getting better. Whereas now with skill-based matchmaking, even if you practice and get better, you just get put in harder matches. And then the existence of bots, I feel like really takes me out of the game sometimes. And it's one of those things that's like, once you notice it, you can't unnotice it. There's some players that aren't, you know, very accustomed to how the AI play or what the AI like name patterns are like. But once you're aware of those things and you know how the AI play, they stick out like a very, very sore thumb. And I feel like that definitely sours the game. Like, you might get high kill game, it doesn't hit the same because you're like, half of it was AI. And there's this misconception that bots are only in low skill lobbies. The example I use for this, which is the best example I can give, I have a clip, I'll play it on screen now, where I killed Tfue and Zemi in the same solo public match. Like, it was just solo pubs, all three of us were in the same game. I'm like 15th in the world for solo wins. Tfue and Zemi are obviously insane. Like, that's a pretty stacked lobby for just a random solo pub, right? And I ended up fighting and killing both of them. Before fighting them, I fought several AI. I watched back on their streams to see their reaction. They both fought several AI before fighting me. So despite that lobby being pretty, stacked in terms of there being good players, there was still several AI in that lobby. Every lobby has AI. And then even the ranked mode has AI to the point where, like, I think even up to like plat. So it's like by the time you get to diamond, maybe you won't see any more AI. But now the queue times are ridiculous, at least in zero build ranked. And I don't know. I think the AI definitely, it makes just getting kills not as exciting, and it makes like going into an engagement not as exciting, I feel like. And the final thing I think that kind of made the game lose its charm is going to be the collabs. I do not mind collabs as much as other people. Like, it doesn't really bother me that much if the tier 100 is a collab skin, but it does make it less exciting to play the game when, we're upcoming on this Jujutsu Kaisen update, and I'm sure it'll be a great update for people who like the show. But look at like the Most Wanted update, how exciting and hyped that was. Like, totally original Fortnite content with like new weapons, returning weapons, the heat system, compared to like a collab event like the Star Wars. I just feel like the original events are so much more exciting, and I feel like the collabs also kind of like bring people out of the game sometimes. But like I said, I'm not a collab hater. I just feel like the sheer amount of them and that being like the one main thing to look forward to is kind of underwhelming at times. But like, I totally get why they do them. But I've said this many times, I think the Most Wanted update so far is like the high point of chapter 4, and that is like, I think it's one of the best updates we've had in like years.
Fortnite. Sorry. What about the people that chose the second option? Was it when lockdowns were lifting? Or was it during the multiple end events that have occurred after chapter 1? Or maybe
someone in my Twitch chat just said, whenever I have to tell a new player about bots, it's like telling kids that Santa doesn't exist. Yeah, I feel exactly the same way. It's like one of those things that, like, if you don't know they're there, it's fine. But once you realize they're there, it kind of is just meh. And that, the skill-based matchmaking and bots came in at the same time that chapter 2 started, pretty much. That was why I was saying it coincides with chapter 2 to an extent. Like, everyone blames the chapter 2 map, but I think the bots hurt the game in more ways than people realize.
just maybe, it was an external factor.
Bro, all these old trailers make me sad. It is the nostalgia. But you see how all these trailers are like Fortnite characters and then something crazy happening to the map? Like, I'll go ahead and explain all these trailers for people who didn't play back then. So, this is the Season 4 trailer, all the meteors crashing into the map and then creating Dusty Divot. This is the Season 5 trailer with the rocket launch creating the rifts and then bringing in things from other realities. That's why this IRL drift is spray painting a Durburger in real life, because this Durburger got rifted there. And then he and the Durburger get rifted to the Fortnite island along with the ATK. This is the Loot Lake Island being risen by the cube. This is the one that rifts in now. And then this is the, like, glacier ice biome colliding with the map in Season 7. Like, all of these trailers are crazy things happening to Fortnite characters on the Fortnite map. And I don't know what the trailers are like now, but I imagine they're, like, more focused on, like, whatever collab is coming into the game. Chapter 4 has done a better job with that. I feel like the map changes and evolution of the map has been pretty solid in Chapter 4. But I feel like these trailers just kind of paint the picture pretty well. I feel like the lack of events could also play a part in the Fortnite kind of losing its charm or being less exciting. Like now, the only events we get are the end of chapter events, it seems, and there's nothing to really look forward to with that aside from a new map, obviously. But like, I'm trying to think of a good one. When the device event happened in chapter 2, season 2, and then the map flooded and the entire storm was water and you like swam in it, that was like crazy. And the way that changed the map, and then like season 3 after that, the map was like completely flooded. It made the events like something to look forward to because like you wanted to see what was going to happen to the map afterwards. Whereas now the only events we get, it's like, okay, yeah, the map is destroyed. In a day or two, we'll see what the chapter 5 map is like. Like it just doesn't hit the same.
So, has Fortnite lost its charm? What if it's not its charm? What if it's the pure taste of memories that you'll never be able to recreate? The pure joy of childhood, the stress-free life you lived when you were younger. Now that you're older, you have responsibilities that you need to take care of. Life, school, and work are getting in the way of your free time, and you just think back to the time when you were just free.
I think that definitely plays a part in for some people, but like I said, I was already an adult by the time Fortnite came out, and for me, that stuff would apply more to like when I was playing COD multiplayer, and I feel more nostalgic or more like special about like OG Fortnite than old COD.
It had time to play. As years go on, people will try Fortnite for the first time and experience the same excitement we all had.
100%.
And one day, they'll play the game one last time without knowing it because they're getting older and have responsibilities that they have to attend to. Is it because Fortnite lost its charm? Thank you for watching.
So, I think this channel is really good. They'll be linked down in the description below. I'm interested to see what they end up making. Like I said at the start or many times during the video, I think the biggest point is just that we've been playing for multiple years. But as far as things that Epic could change, I feel like more original, like high effort updates, like the Most Wanted update, map changes, they've done a good job of in Chapter 4, but I feel like map changes are really what makes Fortnite seasons stand out and feel special. The bots, I think, definitely impact it, and then also the lack of events and things to look forward to in the game. Again, they've done a good job with that in Chapter 4. In Chapter 4 Season 1, we had like the Rift Gate opening, bringing in Mega City. Last season, we had the earthquakes happening, and then the jungle biome came of that. I feel like the way the seasons build into each other is like also a pretty big aspect of what made like early Fortnite so special. But that is gonna be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this, give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more. Like I said, their channel in this video will be linked down in the description below. Make sure you check them out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.